Get ready to pick up arms and protect civilization by murdering hundreds of other people with different opinions to your group. Greetings and salutations everyone, Pat Curley here from the Republic of Players, and today we will be taking a look at Tom Clancy's Division 2, an online-only, open-world third-person shooter based heavily on looting everything you can to upgrade and become stronger. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 takes you to a post-apocalyptic Washington DC, where you step into the boots of the silent and nameless division agent you create and control as you become the so-called sheriff of this city that has become a war zone between different factions. The character creation felt lacking overall, and for a game like this I was expecting a great deal more customization than what was given. The story of Division 2 is rather simplistic in its nature. Bad guys have taken over Washington and it's up to you to try and liberate the city from these hooligans. It's quite forgettable, being there simply to set up the world so you can go around to shoot up the evil groups that are littered across the map. It doesn't focus heavy on the story either, which can be seen from the end of the main game from the transition to the endgame activities, where an entire new fraction of bad guys appear and take control of everything, yet it's not even explained why or how. Some of the missions can be fun from their concept alone. At one point you get to steal the Declaration of Independence. This is most likely the closest I'll ever be to being Nicolas Cage.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Thankfully, the gameplay is better thought out than the actual story. Division 2 has exceptionally solid third-person shooter mechanics. Each gun has a distinct feel and weight from how they operate to each other, allowing for good exploration into what works for you best. It has an easy cover-based system that revolves around one button. When beside cover you press that button and you take cover. Though one of the features I really liked was when you aim at other spots for cover, you can see a line which shows how your character will move to it when you hold the cover button. It's by no means a revolutionary mechanic, but it gives an idea of where you will go and is easy to plan with. You have an assortment of tools at your beck and call, from a deployable sentry gun to a ball that can heal your armoured health over time or shooting out a gas that is highly flammable. My bet is that it's methane. There are numerous ways to approach combat within this game due to how versatile equipment can be. The gameplay itself feels sluggish and took a handful of hours to get the hang of. It's a smooth experience that you can get a great deal of fun from. The game needs online to function. However, the whole game is playable just by yourself, which is a nice touch. It does bring into question why the game needs to be fully online though, since you can do it all by yourself. But the fun really begins when you begin to team up with others to take on missions together or do the numerous side quests. Working with others elevates the game, bringing a whole different vibe as the game is mixed up. Simple things such as flanking enemies can be done and it brings a more diverse playstyle compared to playing on your own. A neat little feature in the game is when you enter a group, your level will be scaled to the host to allow you a fighting chance. The enemy AI is a rather mixed bag. Sometimes they will put you under pressure and attempt to flank you, other times they'll simply run at you for you to mow them down. However, there is a great selection of enemy types that make up for this, and as you progress, you'll find yourself in new situations with every new enemy type. From heavily armoured foes that are bullet sponges to engineers that can create robotic remote controlled vehicles with deadly blades that come charging at you. It adds in a hefty number of new foes every now and then that will keep you on your toes. A cool feature that you will see while exploring the map is that different enemy factions will engage in combat against each other. It brings a bit of life to the world and makes it feel more alive. Division 2 has a good number of modes for you to mess around with, from your main missions to the side quests which comprise of taking over an area controlled by foes to stopping an execution. You have the Dark Zone, which is a place where you acquire more loot but also run into other players who can easily turn their back on you at any moment.
Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of this mode due to the fact that people can simply shoot you in the back after working together for a sizable chunk of time. If you're going to play in the Dark Zone, you really want to have friends you can trust. You then have the online battle modes, one which is your standard team deathmatch 4v4, and then you have domination, which requires your team to capture points on the map and hold them to gain points. This is another kettle of fish compared to the main story and side quests due to your enemies having all the little gadgets that are also at your disposal. It brings a new type of tension that never was attainable in the campaign. One thing I do have to praise is the amount of content the game has on offer. The main story itself is full of stuff to do and explore. You also have upgrades that can make things easier for you in the game, such as being able to hold more equipment. The endgame ups the ante. While it is basically the same missions with a new group of bad guys to kill, it ups the difficulty and brings forth new game mechanics, such as specializations that allow you to carry an extra weapon and brings in a new skill tree to upgrade. However, it can become a tedious affair to play. Washington DC in its broken down state is a wonderful map to explore and is brought to life with fantastic detail, and being able to visit areas such as the White House, the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument is really cool. But let's face facts, lads. Dublin Spire is 10 times cooler than the Washington Monument. Just saying. One problem I would have is that the only way to cover ground quickly is fast travel, and its loading times can be long at points, and I wish there was another way of travel that is faster than running. But one thing I must say, love climbing the walls like Batman. The game does look amazing graphically speaking, there's no denying that. The lighting is one of the most impressive things, seeing the light trickle through the fog or running through the streets when it's slashing rain just creates a great atmosphere. I cannot say the same thing about the music, however. The soundtrack to this game just sounds meh. There are one or two that did succeed in getting me pumped to start a firefight, but it left no lasting impression on me and, in my opinion, failed to achieve what it set out to do most of the time. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is a solid game overall, with a vast amount of content to occupy your time, with well crafted gameplay and a beautiful map to explore. However, with a story that is the furthest thing away from engaging, a handful of minor bugs, lackluster customization for your character, bland music, and suffering from difficulty adjustments, as well as a good chunk of repetition with missions, Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is a game I would recommend waiting to come down in price if you are thinking of trying it out. A quick thanks to Ubisoft for providing a review copy. Now, here's the bit where I beg you to subscribe and follow us on our social media outlets. Please. We do good work. We have a weekly podcast, the First Impressions, couch jobs and reviews. We also have a great Facebook community that talks everything gaming. You'll find the links to all this in the doobly-doo below, I'm sure. Well, until next time, have a good one.